Welcome back to Losing Human Part 5. Productivity. Months had passed. Heisler was on edge from the new MRC and final tests on Mittens. At the lab, the team met with a VP from Roboco, the company interested in mass-producing the Mittens MRC for worldwide distribution.
What we're seeing is Mittens needs to manipulate objects to explore. The MRC's travel can be limited by updating its control program, sending data indicating that the robot has traveled far enough. While this is effective, the MRC becomes lethargic. After reaching optimal distance, say, the edge of the yard, it sits there, even if called. Someone has to retrieve it and reboot it.
I'm not surprised,
Colette stated.
Neither am I.
Decker blurted.
You have to alter the distance program. It sounds like the cat thinks everything's done. I mean, why else would it go all Rip Van Winkle?
Colette's ears twitched.
I was saying, the MRC requires something to engage its awareness, possibly a toy linked via Bluetooth, which allows updates upon completion of tasks. It needs to be able to continue learning while in its environment.
We can try something like that.
What about manipulating objects?
Heisler questioned.
Cats already learn to pull open cabinet doors, flush toilets, bat at the sink to drink, but Mittens is taking this to a much more complicated level. He's been flipping lights on and off, unplugging things from walls, changing television channels with remotes, and grouping things together. Things which do not appear related.
So, it's learning, adapting. That's what we expected,
Jenkins said.
Well, so far, everything does look fine. These prelim tests always yield strange results. We'll schedule another meeting for the end of the following month.
After her departure, the team turned to current matters.
We're ready,
Jenkins said.
I agree. Franklin's shown tremendous potential.
Decker chirped. Colette simply nodded. Heisler did as well.
All right then, Decker, you go ahead and prep Franklin. I'll get my guys to bring the new MRC to the operation room.
I'll notify the security team.
Colette stated and left.
We're activating after placing him in the holding chamber, right?
Jenkins fretted.
Naturally. I mean, he might go ape shit.
They all cracked smiles.
All right, meet in the operation room in 2 hours.
You got it.
They broke away to prep. While Heisler's engineers strapped the MRC to the table and wheeled it out, Colette assembled security in the case of an emergency. Jenkins went straight to the operations room. There, he signed to Franklin, indicating the procedure was at hand. The ape communicated via a program, which allowed Franklin the choice of signs. Once the signs were chosen, the main frame storing Franklin's awareness spoke. Ape, move, see, home, the computer said. Jenkins signed back, indicating a procedure to give him a new home was underway. Ape, see, home, soon, the computer said. Elsewhere, Decker snagged the handheld failsafe device. Before joining the team in the operation room, he went out for a smoke. Heisler spotted him from the parking lot and approached.
How do you think this will turn out?
Heisler shrugged, gave a subtle headshake, then smiled.
Not even a little nervous, are you?
I'll see you inside. Am I nervous? Is that what this is?
In the operation room, the team leaders met. At the center of the room, built into the wall, the mainframe was hard linked to the MRC, which was strapped to a gurney. Colette held a camera to record the proceedings.
So, step 1, we attach these cables to the corresponding ports. Now, a series of programs will replicate in the MRC's control program. Its mind, if you will.
Tell us what that means.
The original brainwaves were uploaded to the mainframe, but it's impossible to do so without frying the gray matter. Once the brainwaves are deconstructed, fragmented, and reassembled, they function as a brain, via the mainframe's control program, or CP. What we're doing now is uploading copies of those waves and keeping the originals in the mainframe, but stored outside the CP. The copies in the new MRC, and subsequently new CP, will have no idea that a transfer from one CP to another has occurred.
Dr. Heisler, tell us what it is you've created here. This doesn't look quite like an ape.
Well, no. There's no need for 2 eyes. The optics can determine distance without the need for split perception. There's no mouth or nose built into the titanium head. The most complicated changes are in the limbs. Naturally, this MRC needed to be just similar enough that Franklin maintained his identity as an ape, but different enough to elicit new behavior not normally exhibited by an ape. Otherwise, what's the point?
What are those changes?
Jenkins grew uneasy and interrupted.
Will he still be able to sign?
He won't have to. I installed the speech program you've been utilizing for conversation.
Franklin's going to be able to talk?
Not exactly. He'll be able to pick and choose from the signs, and the speaker will echo the words just like now. Other than that, I reworked the joints so they can move in 360 degrees, installed extension bars so he can reach farther, and provided small wheels in the base of his feet.
That's some fancy work, Heisler.
The process of uploading, digital compiling, and subsequent relocation of the hardware took close to 3 hours. The exhausting ordeal ended with the press of a button on a computer. In a specially secured room at the rear of the robotics department, everyone, including security, MIT's president, and the department heads presiding over funding, came to watch the mechanical ape's activation. Heisler unbound the creature, then stepped through the cell door to join the rest on the safe side.
Everyone set? Here we go.
Decker clicked the failsafe, which doubled as a remote starter. For a second, nothing happened, and quiet whispers passed around the room.
It takes a second, fellas.
The MRC stirred. Gasps washed over the crowd. Heisler and Decker shared a glance. A sudden clamor exploded. Franklin flung himself off the table, limbs flailing in every direction. Scared, scared, scared. The robotic voice repeated.
Calm down, he's just surprised.
Say when, and I'll hit the override.
Wait, Jenkins, talk to him.
Franklin.
Jenkins called out while signing.
Franklin, it's me, Jenkins. Listen to me. You need to calm down. Home, Franklin. You want to see home, right?
The MRC continued writhing, seemingly unable to compose itself or gain control over its new body. The small wheels popped into and out of the base of the feet. Everyone, stand back, security personnel demanded. Damn it, Heisler, what is this? One of the department heads asked.
Just relax.
The same thing happened with Mittens.
Not quite to this extent, though. Decker, shut it down.
Let Jenkins handle it.
The MRC stood upright. Jenkins signed to stay calm, and we go home. Then Franklin hit the steel bars, and in a spinning, uncontrolled fashion, repeatedly beat expensive limbs against them. Jenkins' face fell apart and nearly brought to tears. He tried to calm Franklin down. It was useless. Get everyone out, security ordered.
Hold on, it takes time.
Heisler, someone yelled. Shut it down. The roboticist had tunnel vision. Unable to comprehend anything other than the sight of the berserk robot, he clenched his fists. The rapid and potent beating of steel against steel was unnerving.
What's wrong with everyone, and what's wrong with the ape? It has no heart for rapid palpitations. It can't produce chondroitins.
He stared in wonder.
Oh my God. Decker, shut it down.
Heisler locked eyes with Decker, strode over, and snatched the kill switch.
Just give it a minute.
Security started forcing people out of the room. Heisler stepped back. He stared at the furious ape machine. Jenkins slumped to his knees, making the signs for friend over and over. With a violent snap, one of the bars came loose. Coming to his senses, Heisler hit the switch. Franklin seized up, fell over with a clank, and remained motionless.
I don't understand.
All of you in my office, the president snapped. The trip to the head office was brisk, though tensions mounted. In the office, the old, white-haired man stood behind his desk, hands placed on the table's edge to steady his weight. He was shaking with rage. Heisler, what did you think you were doing?
We need as much data as possible. Even now, we can retrieve everything the CP perceived. We can learn what made it so uncomfortable and move forwards.
I seriously doubt anything is moving forwards.
Dr. Kessler, please.
You four are going to clean this mess up. Once you've done that, we can speak again, but be forewarned. Project Human is likely going to be disassembled.
Sir, how can we move forwards and solve problems without data? Naturally, there will be glitches. We took all necessary precautions, and no one got hurt.
This time, the president said while glaring at Heisler. Now get out of my sight. In the hallway, the four members of Project Human looked each other over.
It's going to be fine, Jenkins.
He smiled meekly, then touched each of his fingertips to his thumbs. While he repeated the maneuver, Heisler and Decker scrutinized each other.
Why'd you snatch the failsafe from me?
I wanted to wait before doing anything rash.
What you did was rash. If you hadn't compromised us, Kessler might not be so pissed. Now, we stand to lose everything.
Not a chance. We essentially proved that this works. We just need to deliver a more stable package. A human in Franklin's situation would have told us what the problem was, instead of crying, scared repeatedly, and trying to break everything.
They looked to Colette.
I think you're right. Where do you want to start?
Decker and I will isolate the CP and wire it back through the mainframe. Perhaps placing Franklin in a known environment will help us to help him communicate with Jenkins regarding the experience.
Sounds good.
They broke again to handle their individual portion of the mess. Colette and Jenkins dealt with the on-campus PR. Decker and Heisler tackled the technical aspects. Thank you for listening to Part 5 of Losing Human. Please like and subscribe.